Hello guys, how are you guys doing? And I hope you guys are all right. Today we are going to be talking about forex trading sessions. Okay, so we have covered up a lot of topics and we haven't touched anything on trading sessions. So, like, I know that by now we have heard about the London, New York, Tokyo, and Sydney sessions, right? So, but today we are going to be talking about them in full. So, what is forex trading session? So, in a very simple definition, forex trading session are those particular, or it's a particular period of time where the financial markets are more active. Okay, so forex trading session is a period of time during which major financial markets are active, driving currency trading activities. So this is a particular time where the market is more active. I hope we are following. So now we have four major forex market session. We have the Sydney session, we have the Tokyo session, we have the London session, and also we have the New York session. So the Sydney, the Tokyo, the London, and the New York section. Okay, most of us we trade majorly. We trade the London and the New York section. Most of us. So, but today we are going to be talking about them. First, before we go forward, I want to talk about something. I want to talk about GMT, EST, and EDT. Okay, I want to talk about GMT, EST, EDT. Now, GMT stands for Greenwich Mean Time. So it's a time zone that is being recognized by traders and financial markets worldwide. While EST stands for Eastern Standard Time. So it's part of the North American time, especially New York. We have New York, we have DC, Toronto, and others country. So EDT stands for Eastern Daylight Time. Okay, so we know that in some countries like Europe and North America. Now, for example, in UK, when they are observing this DST, their time usually go +1 or -1 instead. Okay, while in the US, when they are observing this EDT, their time moves from -5 to down to -4. Okay, I'm going to still come back to this, but let's now talk about the Sydney, Tokyo, London, and New York section, since we already know what the EST, the GMT, and the EDT is. So I just talk about it first so that when we come down to this place, I won't go back to start explaining it. So just know that GMT is the standard time. Okay, while EST is a time that is used in Northern America. While EDT, it stands for Eastern Daylight Time. So let's talk about the Sydney session. Now, the Sydney session starts from 5 o'clock p.m. down to 2 o'clock a.m. EST. Okay, but in a normal GMT time, it starts from 10 p.m. in the night, 10 p.m. in the night, down to 7 o'clock a.m. in the morning. So the Sydney session has low volatility and also pairs like AUD USD and NZD CAD. Sorry, AUD pairs and NZD. I just made a little mistake here because these are currency pair I trade. I trade AUD USD and NZD CAD. So, but pairs currency like AUD and NZD, these are the time they open. So the Tokyo session opens at 7 o'clock p.m. down to 4 o'clock a.m. EST time. So these are all Northern American time, but On a GMT time, it's from 12 o'clock a.m. in the night down to 9 o'clock a.m. From 12 o'clock a.m. down to 9 o'clock a.m. in the morning. And the Tokyo session is known as the Asian session, because this is when the major Asian session open, like the Japan banks, China banks, and the Asian markets. This is the particular time that they open. So you see pairs like UJ, USD JPY, EJ, and so on. Those JPY pairs at this particular time, they used to have more volatility. That is because this is when the Asian sessions are open. Okay, so we now have the London session, which we all trade. The London session on an EST time, it opens at 3 o'clock a.m. down to 12 o'clock p.m., which is 8 o'clock a.m. in the morning here. Okay, 8 o'clock a.m. down to 5 o'clock p.m. It opens at 8 o'clock a.m. down to 5 o'clock p.m. So pairs like Euro USD, GBP USD, Swiss franca, and all of that, those pairs at this particular time, they are more volatile. So this session is known as the European session. Okay, so pairs like currency like euros, GBP, and so on, this is the time that there has more volatility. This is the particular time that they open. So next and lastly, we have the New York section, which is the North American session. It opens at 8 o'clock a.m. and closes at 5 o'clock p.m. EST time. So, but on our GMT time, it opens at 1 o'clock p.m. 1 o'clock p.m. that's afternoon, and closes at 10 o'clock p.m. So currency like USD and CAD are more volatile at this session. Okay, so let's come back here. Let's talk about this Eastern Daylight Time. Now, for the London session, between the last Sunday of March down to the last Sunday of October, UK normally observe this DST. Okay, between the last Sunday of March down to the last Sunday of October. While for North America, I'll just focus on New York, since we are talking about trading here. So while for New York, between the second Sunday of March down to the first Sunday of November, New York observed this EDT. That is when the time moves from -5 down to -4. So way over here, we trade majorly the London and the New York section. So when this time moves from -5 down to -4, the London section no longer opens at 8 o'clock a.m. when UK and New York are observing this daylight saving. The London session no longer opens at 8 a.m. Rather, it opens at 7 a.m. Let me write this here. It opens at 7 a.m. Okay, it opens at 7 a.m. and closes at 4 a.m. at 4 p.m. Sorry, it opens at 7 a.m. and closes at 4 p.m. once the UK starts observing this, the daylight saving. I hope we are following. New York section is the North American section. Now, when there is daylight saving, New York section don't longer open at 1 o'clock p.m. and close by 10. It usually opens by 12 p.m. and closes by 10 p.m. by 10 p.m. So just have this at the back of your mind. The GMT time is the standard time traders use. Okay, so but here in Nigeria, GMT is +1. So if the GMT time is 8 o'clock, in Nigeria it's 9 o'clock. So for example, currently now in Nigeria, New York section, I said New York section still opens by 1 o'clock, And when New York is no longer observing the daylight saving, New York section opens by 2 o'clock here in Nigeria. So I hope you understand. So that will be all about this. Our next class, we are going to talk about the overlapping of each session, and we'll talk about the Q zones. Okay, so talking about the overlapping, you see this place, this is 12 o'clock down to 6 o'clock, where Sydney session and Tokyo session matched together. There will be more volatility. Between here and here is what is called the Asian section. So why for London session and New York, between 1 o'clock down to 5 o'clock, these 4 hours that both the New York section and the London section overlap, there will be high volume in the markets. So if you observe mostly here in Nigeria in the afternoon, once the New York section is open, especially 2 o'clock, you see the market has more volume. That is because London section and New York section overlap. So in our next class, we are going to talk more on that, and also we are going to talk about the Q zones and also how to trade them, and we have a lot to talk about. So I love you guys. Take care of yourself. Bye.